Hello, namaste, and welcome everybody. Yoho Miroso, the Bhutanese Talk, and I'm the host, Sagar Dungal. Hey, this is the brand new podcast that I have never done. This is something new that I'm stepping into. I'm really excited and also a little nervous. थोरै खुसी पनि छ, थोरै nervous पनि छु. Let's see how it's gonna be. I'm really ready for this challenge. I think. The reason I'm doing this podcast किनकि मेरो पहिलो एपिसोड हो म तपाईँहरूलाई थोरै इन्ट्रोडक्सन दिन चाहन्छु मेरो आफ्नै अनि यो सोको बारेमा यो पडकास्टको बारेमा so you have an idea what is this about, okay? So without telling too much, right? So the point is this. The title of the show, as you know, is the Bhutanese Talk, right? So if you know about the Bhutanese, you already know what it meant. But if you don't know about Bhutanese, let me give you a little bit of background about it. Bhutanese are the people of Bhutan. It's a small, tiny country. If you are up to date with the news lately, this Bhutan is I think recently in news for being a carbon negative. It is the only country in the world for being a carbon negative. So the people of that country is known as Bhutanese. Those who we are. I'm one of them. So this is about the Bhutanese, and only the little different. थोरै फरक के छ भने हामी चाहिँ भुटानको Bhutanese भए तापनि refugee. The difference is even though we're Bhutanese, but we were refugee. We were forced out of Bhutan, and we became refugee. We stayed in Nepal for a long time. So this show is all about the Bhutanese issue from my perspective. Someone who grew up in the refugee camp, for lived my whole life. I don't want to say whole life. I guess I came to America when I was 16, so I spent a lot of my life in Nepal. So I'm gonna have this show talk about the Bhutanese refugees, talk about the issues, talk about the very I guess I can say talk about the positive and negative, talk about the progress, and also talk about some of the downside of issues in and within the Bhutanese community, not only in Nepal, but in the United States and all over the world where these Bhutanese refugees were resettled. Okay, so I don't know if that's enough intro. I'll do my best to add a little bit of intro here and there, maybe in a different format. But the point what I'm trying to tell you guys is this show is all about talking about the issues that I see in my community and how we can approach, how we can talk about it, how we can tackle it, and how we can actually just make things better. Okay, एउटा सानो प्रयास हाम्रो समाजमा हाम्रो भुटानी समाजमा मैले देखेको मेरो पर्सपेक्टिभमा देखेको कुराहरू I'll be talking about. So this could be about anything. This could be about the culture. This could be about the belief. This could be about the tradition. This could be about the kids, the generation gap we have right now. This could be about the relationship in the family, how it has changed during I guess in compared to what it used to be and what it is now. Okay, so this is all about us as a Bhutanese. I mean, I see. I don't even want to actually tag us as a refugees because we're not refugees anymore. We are either permanent resident or the U.S. citizen, right? Because I think we left that tag of refugee when we left Nepal. And yeah, I guess I would probably make some mistakes again and call myself a refugee or call Bhutanese as a refugee, and I apologize in advance. But the point is, whoever is settled, I don't think they're refugees anymore. I know we never gonna take it back the fact that we were refugee at some point, but I don't think we are refugees anymore. Okay, so that's a little bit of intro about the Bhutanese. So I know I said a lot about myself, and Let me talk a little bit about myself, who I am, and why I'm doing this show, which I already covered a whole lot. But let me again go back and introduce myself. My name is Sagar. I am, like I said before, I'm a former refugee. I came to America in 2009. 2009 when I was 16 from Nepal. Uh, I came first. I came to Lansing, Michigan. I went to high school there. I went to college. I went to Michigan State. I graduated there, and I recently moved to Grand Rapids. It was December 2006. No, I think I graduated December 2016, and I moved to Grand Rapids in early 2017. Yeah, just looking for a job. My parents, my siblings were already here, so I just decided to move. I thought it was easier for me to find a job, and just in general would be easier in life. So I guess that's what it is. I'm a former refugee, U.S. citizen now. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not a refugee anymore. I am a U.S. citizen. I got my citizenship in 2017. So yeah, it's been quite a ride for me. Uh, so yeah, that's all from my side, and I think I said a lot about the show. So a lot of my friends and a lot of the Bhutanese folks already know this, and they are well aware about these issues because we all were part of it. But if you have never heard about the Bhutanese and then the refugees issues, and if this is the first time you're hearing about this, maybe this is going to be a very, very interesting topic for you because you will learn a lot. You will learn a lot about the refugees. You will learn a lot about the Bhutanese. Just in general, you will learn a lot about me and folks like me. Okay, so stay tuned. I guess you have to listen to me. I think we're doing this once in a month for now, but let's see how it goes. So you have to listen to me once in a month, and hope you will learn a lot more. So today I'm gonna this information I'm gonna share right now is the resettled data. I know we all know the resettled refugees, Bhutanese knows this, but like I said, are if you are listening this first time, I'm gonna tell you, starting from 2008, Bhutanese refugees were resettled in various countries, various developed countries. Okay, so to again go back and give you a perspective, Bhutanese were forced out their home country, Bhutan, in early 1990s. So I think to be more specific, in 1992, 1993, more than 100,000 refugees. My bad. More than 100,000 Bhutanese were forced out of their home country, and I hope to cover why it happened and how it happened. That's gonna be a separate episode by itself, and you have to wait for that. But I'm gonna move on from there. Okay, so from 1992 to 2008, I think that's about what? How many years? About 15, 16 years. Yeah, so almost after we lived in refugee camp for almost 15, 16 years, we were offered to resettle in various developed countries. Okay, so what are those countries? We were offered to resettle in 8 countries. Those were United States, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Denmark, Norway, United Kingdom, and Netherlands. So that's total 8. Those are the 8 countries who wanted to take refugees and resettle the refugees in their home country. Okay, so not everybody wanted to resettle the first time because everybody wanted to go back to the home country. My parents initially never wanted to resettle because they were hoping to go back to their home country, and there were thousands and thousands of refugee population back in Nepal, and in fact there is still, believe it or not, there is still, I think, approximately 5 to 10,000 refugees are living in Nepal right now in the refugee camp. They're still. And why? Because they are hoping one day they can go back to their home country. I'm sure their kids, their relatives are already here, but there's still refugee camp there. It's not as big as it used to be. It's not run the same way it used to be, but there's still a refugee camp back in Nepal. So, yeah. And like I said, my parents, there are a lot of folks, a lot of older folks, in particular, never wanted to resettle in what they call third country resettlement, because they wanted to go back to home country if possible, and they tried, but eventually, a lot of younger folks took this opportunity to resettle in various the 8 countries I mentioned earlier. And today I'm gonna give you the data. This resettlement process has been stopped. It is stopped in 2019. I think early 2019. I'm not 100% sure, but I think this resettlement process has stopped in April or May 2019. And don't quote me on this, but I'm guessing. But it is stopped now. There are no more Bhutanese refugees or resettled right now, like happening right now. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the data right now. This is very interesting. I didn't know about this until I started doing research. Okay, so this is it's very fascinating to me. Okay, so the total number of Bhutanese resettled in 8 different countries is 111,673. That's the total number of refugees resettled in 8 different countries. 111,673. Okay, so out of that total, 94,652 were settled in the United States only. So out of 111,673, approximately about 95,000 were settled only in the United States. That's about 86% of the whole settled population is in the US. Okay, so then second is pretty competitive. It's the competition is between Australia and Canada. Second, however, Australia is second, 6,820. That's the population resettled in Australia, 6,820, and that's approximately 6% of those data, total population. And similarly, third is Canada. Canada resettled 6,755. And again, that is also approximately 6% of the population resettled in Canada. Okay. Fourth is New Zealand. New Zealand resettled 1,302 individuals. Okay, and that is about, let me look at my data quick. Okay, New Zealand, that is about 1.2%. 1.2% of the total population is resettled in New Zealand. And fifth is Denmark. 866 individuals were resettled in Denmark, which is less than 1%, 0.8%. Okay. Next is Norway. Norway resettled 596 individuals, which is 0.5%. Similarly, UK came the next. Okay, seventh. United Kingdom took 356 individuals, which is 0.3%. 356 out of 111,673. Okay, and finally, Netherlands came last out of 8. Netherlands took the 326 individuals, which is 0.3%. Okay, so that's the legit data. I did a research. Okay, my source, if you're wondering where did I get this data from, it's unhcr.org. You can find this data in their website. Okay, it's pretty legit. If you need this data, if you're interested, feel free to contact me and I can provide you this. Okay, so yeah, so that's pretty interesting to me. I think the biggest interesting thing for me was, I thought Canada or Australia took more people. I literally thought that. But somehow they only took about 6,000 to 7,000 people. I literally thought they took more people, but anyhow, so United States obviously took majority of people. Like I said, United States took 94,652. That is, hold on a second, let me see. That is eight. Oh my bad. I misspoke when I say 86%. That is 84.8%, which is 85%. 85% of the total resettled Bhutanese are in the various states in the United States. Okay, so let me give you a little more insight in this data. Okay, starting from 2008. In the United States, okay, the highest number. Hold on a second. So in the United States, the highest number of people came in 2009, 15,076. Okay, and 2011, 2012 has about the same. I think 2011 has 14,694. That's pretty competitive. And 2012 has 14,417. So the population kind of goes down from there. 2018, there were only resettled 653. 2019, 4. So literally, then that's how we stopped it. 2019, there were 4 individuals resettled in the United States. Okay. Let me see. What else do I have? I have Australia. In 2019, Australia took 4 people also, 4 individuals. That's it. The maximum number of people they resettled was in 2010, where they took in 1,158. That's the maximum number. In 2011, also pretty high, comparatively, 1,026. Okay. Let's go next. What's next? Do I have Canada? Right. The maximum number of people Canada took was in 2011. They took 1,873. They stopped their process in 2018. So actually, they stopped it before U.S. did. U.S. stopped their process in 2019, but Canada stopped in 2018. There's no any individuals who were settled in 2019. Similarly, New Zealand. New Zealand also stopped their resettlement process in 2018. They didn't resettle any individuals in 19. The maximum number of individuals they took in was in 2008. They took in 359 individuals. Okay. And again, New Zealand, the total number of refugees they resettled is 1,302. All right, what's next? Let me quickly go through this so everyone who is listening have in perspective. If you live in Denmark, the total number of refugees resettled in Denmark, Bhutanese refugees resettled in Denmark, is 866. The maximum number of individuals resettled was in 2009, which is 311. They closed their resettlement process in 2016. So they closed it way before. So in 2016, in fact, they only resettled one individuals. That's it. Okay. So technically they stopped in 2015, but I guess okay. And then Norway also stopped or closed their resettlement process in 2016. In 2016, they resettled 4 individuals, and that's it. No resettlement after that. The maximum number of refugees resettled in Norway was in 2009, which is 295. Okay, I get 2 more quick to go. I hope I'm not boring you guys. Okay, so UK literally started taking people from 2010, even though the process literally started from 2008. But they start taking in people from 2010, and they only took it for 3 years. They took in for 10, 12, and 13. Maximum number of people were taken or resettled in 2012, which is 146. And finally, Netherlands. Netherlands stopped their process in 2016 also. So in 2016, in the final year, they resettled two individuals. In fact, in 2015, they resettle one individuals, and I don't know why they would keep their process going to resettle two more in the next year, but that's what they did. Okay, so the maximum number of individuals resettled in Netherlands was in 2010, and that is 107. All right. So let me sum it up again. If you are listening, I am giving all the Bhutanese refugees resettled data in 8 different countries. The total number of refugees resettled is 111,673. United States took most of those population, which is 84.8%. Australia second, 6.1%. Canada 6%. New Zealand 1.2%. Denmark 0.8%, Norway 0.5%, UK 0.3%, and Netherlands 0.3%. Okay, that's it for the data today, folks. So, all right. So I hope this information is very helpful for you. It kind of, it's whenever I say this data, that just takes me back to the refugee camp when I was involved in the process, when I was doing. Going through the all the year and a half long process to come to America, where I had to go to the 2 or 3 interview process and get my go through the DHS, go through the travel document, go through the medical process, like all that process. Kind of takes me back. It's pretty nostalgic to me. So anyhow. So let me get back to this show and get back to talking about the podcast, right? So this podcast is not only about to tell people who am I and how I had a struggling life, or to tell folks I was a refugee and I struggled. It's not only about that, okay? This podcast is not only about, hey, my parents were forced out of their home country and we became refugees, and the government of Bhutan didn't treat us well. It is not only about that. Those are all facts. Don't get me wrong. Those are all facts. And it will always stay with me, and it will always stay with my parents and thousands and thousands of Bhutanese folks. It will always stay with us. But this podcast is not only about that. I think we have come a long way since then. We have done a lot of progress, tremendous progress. We have a lot of positive things to focus on. We have a lot of good things. Man, I was born in refugee camp, technically, okay? So it's been 26, 27 years now. And I think there's no point of hanging to it forever. At some point, you have to let go and focus on what's in the plate now, okay? So through this show, I want to talk about the Bhutanese community, the resettled Bhutanese community, how we are changing, how we are transitioning. And I'll tell you this transition has not always been good for everybody. I'm sure there are some smooth and good transitions, but there are very tough transitions. There are still folks that can't, I guess, take the fact that they have left Nepal and they are in the United States. They can't understand the culture. They can't understand the language. They can't just fit into the new place, and the Vietnamese folks know that there has been so many suicides cases in our community. And I'm not gonna tell what I don't know the main issue, what caused someone to take their own life, but I can predict, or I can guess, living in a new place and the hardship that comes with the transition is definitely the key. And my parents tells me that, so before I start talking about someone else, I always give example of my parents, right? So my parents, I guess particularly my mom, she can't drive. She is trying so hard to learn English, but she's not fluent in English. She can't drive. Someone has to go with her to shopping because she don't understand how the credit card and debit card works, how to punch in, where to punch in the pins, or just to talk to people. She need help. Okay, so things like that. I don't know if everyone has a help. I don't know if everyone, all the kids are taking care of their parents well, but things like that. My dad was a businessman. It's funny, you probably think how, right? Even in refugee camp, my dad has a clothing store, right? Not technically store. It's a temporary. He used to put a tent and sell clothes. The point is, he was proud of that. He made good money, and he ran our house pretty good. The point I'm trying to make, the the point I'm trying to make is, he was a businessman. He was making money. He knew where to go. He knew where to get the clothes from. He knew his customer. He knew what he was doing, and he enjoyed doing that. But when he came to America, he felt like his he everything he loved has been taken away from him, because he can't do that. He don't know where things are, right? For a while, things are different now, but the point is, for a while he was pretty frustrated. He regretted coming to America, because he was a businessman. He was head of the family. He was leading us, and when he came to America, he was lost for a while. He didn't know what he was lost. He was literally had to rely on us now, because that was very different for him, for him to ask help for with the kids, because he has never experienced that, right? So this is one example I'm giving you. The point I was trying to make is, there's so many hardship and so many struggle older folks who struggle with language and culture has to go through. I will be talking about that. I'll also be talking about the generation gap. I'll be talking about how the new generation is dealing, or how the misunderstanding between the new generation and older folks. Okay, the family issue we have in our community, how the relationship between the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, because in our culture, one of the son normally stays with the parent. Son and a daughter-in-law stay with the parents, but I have seen increasing problem in America between son and a wife with their parents. Technically, daughter-in-law and mother-in-law, right? Or mother. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the belief we have. I'm going to talk about the culture. I'm going to talk about the mental case issue, or let me put it this way, mental health issue. I'm going to talk about some of the abuse that Bhutanese has involved in. I'm going to talk about a lot of things. I'm going to talk about the progress. I'm going to talk about the progress the Bhutanese refugees had made. I'm going to talk about the students who are in medical school right now. I'm talking about the engineers and nurses that these former refugees were. All the progress all the struggle they had, and where they at now. You know, this reminds me of this song, the Drake song. It started from the bottom, now we're here, right? So where we started and where we are right now. Okay, so if I have to sum up, this is my try. This is my honest and genuine try to present, try to talk and discuss and just have a open talk about anything that I see in my community as an issue, or any progress or anything from my perspective. Okay, I have seen, or I have seen many other YouTube channels or radio shows or just plain interviews, Facebook Live, chit chat, but I have never seen people really talking about the core of the issue. I have never really seen people bringing up the issues that are very, very important to me, and I think Bhutanese in general. So through this podcast, I want to talk about all those topics that we normally don't see folks talking about in public. They talk about this with their family in kitchen table or in their dinner table. They talk with their friends. They openly talk about it, and they start telling, hey, this should be that. I don't like this. This should have never happened, and all that. But they're never willing to talk about this in public, because they are worried these topics are very sensitive, that they are worried about the backlash they can get from the community. And I think we're gonna talk about that. I'm not worried about the backlash I'll get from the community. I think we'll talk about all the important sensitive topics that I think that need to be talked about. And there's never a right time, and there's never a good time to talk about anything. I think someone has to start, right? I just don't understand why no one has ever started before. I think someone should have started. I have seen, like I said, so many shows already, and no one has really talked about the important issues I think we need to be talking about. Okay, so all right, folks. I think I gave you enough info. This is my first episode. Like I said, I think well, few last things I want to tell is I will host this show in Nepali and English. As you noticed, that's what I did in the beginning. But I will do my best to, depending on the guest I have and depending on the topic I'll be talking about, I will do my best to also host this show in Nepali, so my targeted audience or my intended audience can understand this. For now, the plan is to have at least 10 to 15 episode for now. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, nothing is set in stone. We'll see how it goes. Let's see how we will tackle issue after issue, and if everything goes well, we will continue this for I don't know how long, but let's do one step at a time. I really want to thank WKTV for giving me this opportunity to do my podcast. Thanks to Ginny here in WKTV. I really appreciate you. I look forward to the show. And again, thank you guys for listening. I hope to. Hey, yeah, I'm always offer your honest feedback. Feel free to give me honest feedback. You don't have to be, yeah, you don't have to sugarcoat or anything. I look for your honest feedback. That's how I think I can improve episode after episode. I'll do my best to be as authentic, as raw as possible, because this is about me, and this show I'm giving my take, so there's no point for me to be fake or be someone else, right? So with that being said, again, this is my podcast. I'm the host, Sagar Dungal, and the show is the Bhutanese Talk. And thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you guys next time.